Finally, some good news for Battlefield 6 fans. 2 new maps are coming to Battlefield 6 Season 2. First up is this one, Contaminated, a brand new map which is comparable to classic Battlefield maps such as St. Quentin Scar from Battlefield 1 or Arras from Battlefield 5. To me, it looks very much like Monte Grappa, at least from the image that we can see here. There is of course going to be a second map. This is the classic Golmud Railway Remastered for Battlefield 6. Of course, Battlefield 4 fans will know that map very well, and it's looking pretty interesting, especially some of the details we'll discuss just in a moment. I do apologize for my voice being a little bit all over the place right now. Half of my mouth is actually really numb. I've just came out the dentist and had a wisdom tooth removed, so I'm trying to be a little bit gentle on my voice here. So, in the next session of Battlefield Labs, they'll be evaluating how vehicle gameplay and aerial presence interact with infantry combat, alongside cover and asset placements and objective boundaries. So they'll be testing how the map's unique gameplay mechanics function in live matches, as well as the tools available to players to interact with them. We don't know much more than that. What do they mean by the map's unique gameplay mechanics? Judging from the map we can see so far, there is a couple of bunkers here. Perhaps we can open and close doors here. We don't know much else apart from that. On the surface, of course, it does look like Monte Grappa. Perhaps we can go inside of more bunkers. Maybe there'll be gun turrets, stuff like that we saw on Monte Grappa, perhaps. I mean, honestly, this is looking absolutely gorgeous. Probably a big map, this one, judging by what we can see there. They are saving the full details on the new map for a later time, but they do share that in terms of size, Contaminated falls between Eastwood and Merak Valley. Of course, again, comparable to classic Battlefield maps such as St. Quentin Scar or Arras from Battlefield 5. Also, alongside Season 2 map testing, in these sessions they will include a handful of additional gameplay-focused tests, which includes early testing of the AH-6 Little Bird ahead of its planned arrival in Season 2. Finally, a new chopper in the game. Do you think this one would suit Manhattan Bridge and the more urban maps? I'd like to see it in Rush especially, and Breakthrough of course. So they're using this to evaluate how it fits within the broader vehicle ecosystem and how it performs across different combat scenarios. Sounds pretty good to me. And of course, there will be a second map being tested. Fan favorite Golmud Railway from Battlefield 4. Personally, I was not a big fan of this map outside of Rush. It's quite a large map and it was open in many places. However, this version would be an absolute banger if they get it right. So they say Golmud Railway is being rebuilt for today's Battlefield, not simply ported forward. The goal is to preserve what made the map so memorable in BF4, particularly its combined arms gameplay, and they want to improve how it plays and supports Battlefield 6 systems. That is absolute music to my ears. Golmud Railway played pretty well in Rush, but in the bigger modes in Conquest, I wasn't too sure about it. Often you would be stuck in the village as infantry and the rest of the map was pretty much for vehicles. Honestly, that map could be improved in so many ways. Question is, will we see the return of the train? And if we do, does that mean if there is a train in the game, we will see it again in a remake of Propaganda, one of the maps that is rumored to be coming to Battlefield 6. And they do go on to say that this will actually be a multi-session project. Through Labs, they want to test changes such as larger flight space, increased cover for aircraft, and other adjustments as the map evolves over time. So judging by this wording here, this is probably not going to release day one with Season 2. Of course, more updates to come, but interestingly, we'll talk about some extra updates later on. But first, Battle Royale Solos is finally coming to Battlefield 6 BR. So they say they've been testing internally Battle Royale Solos, and they're trying to evaluate how different player configurations impact pacing, balance, and the overall Battle Royale experience. This is actually really good to hear, because solos right now, if you just threw it straight into BR, don't think it's actually going to work. You would need some major changes. So they go on to say this work is focused on understanding where solo play can best fit within the broader Battle Royale roster, including how it affects match flow, survivability, and long-term engagement when featured alongside other Battle Royale experiences. These tests are part of their ongoing effort to make informed decisions about how Battle Royale is structured and presented over time, rather than committing to a single permanent configuration. This is really good to hear, and we need to praise them for this. They do really need to test this and figure it out. You can't just chuck solos in. It's gonna fail. It's not going to keep people interested. You need to develop this and really full send it. Then they go on to say any future player facing testing would be approached with the goal of learning and validation, and we'll share more details ahead of time if and when those tests are planned. As always, when testing does take place, clear guidance on participation and feedback will be provided so we can evaluate how the experience performs in real matches. That's good to hear as well. We always know these tests and behind the scenes testing is never quite the same as public gameplay. That to me needs to be tested more and more and more. We need to know how the game is going to perform in the public. Private tests are great, they're fun, I appreciate them, but out in public, it's a different game. And of course, there will be some more testing done to infantry and vehicles. So they are going to be running more exploratory tests across aircraft and vehicle combat systems. This includes initial testing of aircraft radar, an important part of the aircraft gameplay experience, and a system we are actively evaluating as part of future air combat improvements. Parallel to this, they'll be exploring a tuning package focused on rocket and vehicle interactions, including early adjustments to weapons such as RPGs and tow launchers, as well as vehicle handling considerations when countering rockets. Future testing will also validate improvements we are making to hit registration and overall combat consistency, as it is one of the more complex areas of development. A lot of people are saying today when I was streaming that the hit reg is a little bit all over the place. Personally, it felt fine to me. But again, other days, I can't win a gunfight in some areas. And aggressive players are just dominating me and I'm just struggling. So I've definitely felt the inconsistency with the game lately. But there is, some servers feel great, some servers don't. It is there when it's there, but the consistency definitely needs working on. Lead producer David Serland emphasized that these issues are rarely tied to a single change, but instead require careful iteration across multiple systems, extensive testing, and time to validate results at scale. And further goes on to say this includes a number of changes currently in development, with some improvements planned to arrive earlier in Season 2, and additionally more impactful updates in the coming months. Battlefield Labs is here to test that, iterate and validate these improvements as it progresses. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is looking pretty solid. Golmud Railway from BF4, remastered for Battlefield 6 and its systems. Sounds pretty good to me. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. And of course, Contaminated, judging from this image, it could be pretty tasty. Some interesting engagements could be had in the mountains here, and of course in the bunkers. Monte Grappa was one of my favorite maps in the early beginning of BF1, but as it progressed, I felt it was a bit frustrating to play when everyone was just spamming grenades in the bunkers. So I hope that is tested on this one. If that's how it's going to play out, I don't know. But if it does, we need to have some conversations about that. It definitely has become a problem in BF1 right now, and I'd love the map to be really playable from all angles, lots of flanking going on, lots of movement going on. That would be really nice to see. There is some choke points action going on in BF6 Breakthrough right now, and I would hate to see that carry on too much going forward with Battlefield 6. Don't get me wrong, it can be fun, but if you played Manhattan Bridge and you get stuck on the rocks, it's not a fun time. Battlefield 6 definitely needs some changes, and this is a positive step in the right direction. Season 2, so far, I'm excited. Hope to see more, and I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Apologies for my voice being a little bit all over the place. Hopefully tomorrow I'll feel a little bit better. Anyway guys, do be sure to drop a like on your way out, and I'll see you on stream very soon. Take it easy guys. Catch you later.